Live all the time. All right, let's see. Says now live. I love technology. Not as much as you see. Here it is. So I have it pulled up on my phone. Fabulous. Sharing. Okay. Lottie Dottie, we like to potty.
We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody. We're just some people that's on the mic. And when we rock up on the mic, we rock the mic, right? What up, y'all? My name is Ty.
My name is Cole.
We are Ty Cole.
That's right. And we've got a special guest today, one of our dear friends, Dr. Adam Splaver.
The one and only Dr.
One and
Adam
only,
Splaver.
the doctor's doctor.
That's right.
Get it right.
Get it right.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it wrong
or
either.
backwards.
Or sideways.
So we're recording this. The audio is going to go on Mentor in the Mirror. I think it's episode 65, if I remember correctly. So Adam, before we even get into sharing some of like what people can be doing from your perspective, let's chat a little bit about who you are and what you do. We don't have to get into a whole big thing, but
yeah, I appreciate it. First of all, thank you very much for having me today. I'm so happy to see the two of you and be here with you and spread some knowledge and some light into the subject. So my background is I'm a clinical cardiologist. I'm boarded in internal medicine, cardiology, nuclear cardiology, echocardiography, age management medicine, and vascular interpretation of ultrasound. I have taken an integrative approach to medicine, utilizing not only the traditional forms with pills and medicines, but also non-traditional forms, including vitamin supplements, hormones, diet, exercise, nutrition, meditation, mindfulness. Important when we are taking in to account our health, our wellness. And I think you lost my video.
That's okay. We got you back.
So now you have me now?
Yeah,
yep.
You do.
Okay. So where are we at this stage of the game? I mean, here we are at the beginnings, pretty much the beginnings of the COVID outbreak here in America. And for many, there's been a big amount of fear and anxiety and disinformation that has gone around. And it's important to remember that what we're doing and why we're doing it. I know it's a major inconvenience for all of us, myself included, being holed up in quarantine, being away from social engagements and whatnot. But at the end of the day, really, this is being done for one reason only. And that you've probably heard of is in terms of flattening the curve. So what the heck does that mean? When there's an outbreak, something like this, with a virus that's very, very contagious, that curve can get exponentially high, and it can go very, very high, really outpacing the sources or the resources that we have in America in terms of what we have in our hospitals, from not only for medication, but also support staff. In terms of equipment such as ventilators. All these things are being done specifically to help stem off the tide of the need all right now, this second. Because we do have a limited amount of resources, and with something that is this contagious, it can get quite dicey, especially if you're lacking equipment or personnel that can actually take care of those that really need it the most. And so that's the main reason for the quarantine, which is, again, it's a pain in the ass for everyone. It's inconvenient. It's uncomfortable. But the main purpose of doing this really is to help us, help our patients, help society as a whole, so that way we can at least have the proper amount of resources. So that's issue number one, what we're dealing with, quarantine. And it's actually helping. It should be helping. We should be seeing a level off, if not even a flattening of the curve of how many people actually get the disease and how people have serious consequences of it. Obviously, hand washing, staying away from people that are sick. And if you are sick, if you feel a cold or a virus or something coming on, obviously eat right, sleep, meditate, ground yourself, and try to take it easy. Stress itself in all forms, whether it be physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, can affect your body's ability to fight off any type of infection. And that's why we see patients who have compromised immune function, people who have diabetes or have heart failure, or have heart disease, who have lung disease, asthma, autoimmune diseases. Those people are more at risk, especially those that are already on immunosuppressants, medicines to push their immune system down, so that way they don't overreact. So, so those are that's the mainstay of quarantine. That's the mainstay of at least limiting everyone's exposure and social distancing. In terms of, what else can one do? Obviously, if you have to go out, and we all have to go out once in a while. We have to go out to the store to get food. We have to, get vital things for our life so we can survive. Play it safe. Play it safe. Wear a mask if you feel that you're immunocompromised. Wash your hands. Maybe even wipe down the shopping cart that you're using before you actually utilize it, and just be careful of what you touch where you're going. Obviously, wash your hands. Maybe even some people may even want to change their clothes when they get home, just again to spread to prevent the spread of infection, to keep things clean.
Totally. We
Other
lost
things
your
that people
video.
can do, obviously, in terms of boosting their immune system. We mentioned sleep. Don't go out, don't stay up late at night binge watching TV. Don't drink alcohol. All those things disrupt your sleep. And if you can, set a schedule for yourself. Make a schedule for yourself, because being indoors can be quite tedious. But if between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. you're going to be you're either in your apartment working out, or meditating, or doing a project, maybe even picking up an old hobby. Things that you put by the wayside years ago. Pick up that guitar that you haven't touched in years. Use this time for yourself to go inward, to develop your sense of self, your sense of wellness, and maybe encourage yourself to continue growing in other ways. Read a book. And if you don't like reading, maybe get an audiobook. There are a lot of very good, valuable pieces of information you can get on the web nowadays. And you can take courses. You can take courses online. Whether it be from finance to business to health, wellness, nutrition. I mean, any topic that you can think of is probably, up for grabs. And this quarantine that may be seen by all of us, or many of us, as something negative, actually could be a blessing. Could be an absolute blessing for you to tap into that child, that inner wonderment, that explorative self that we pushed by the wayside because we're all so busy with work and kids and life and responsibilities. So the blessing of all this is that we get a chance to at least go internal.
Yeah, thank you so much for the grand amount of insight in that. And while you were speaking about all of the things that we're looking to do,
I can't hear you.
Prevent. You can't hear me.
Can't hear you.
How about now? 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 How about now?
Nope.
The extra though, if just keep it quiet for 1 second.
I can see you, but I can't hear you. Your lips are moving, but I can't hear you.
How most people would like it.
Okay.
Well, let me check my mic settings.
Let's see. Can the people watching hear? Hold on.
Mic, speaker.
Nope.
No.
Can you hear us right now?
Nothing.
How about now?
Can I go out and come back, or no?
Can you hear us now?
No.
Mic.
Audio, video.
No.
Can you hear me now? I can't hear you.
We can hear you.
You hear me, but I can't hear you. I'm learning how to read lips. This is one of the things I'm actually doing in my spare time. I'm learning how to read lips and facial expressions.
Okay. Yeah, if you can leave,
yes,
come back.
Okay, thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate you jumping in, Stephanie, and letting us know that you can hear us all clear. For some reason, Adam can't hear us, and we can't even see him. So I think he's going to jump back on. And thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for our recent daily lives and recording of our podcast.
Yeah, we're going to have him pop right back in. He's the only one not hearing. Yeah, it's funny. He'll pop back in. It's not a problem at all.
So I think that's
Adam
him.
Splaver.
Okay, let's see if this is him.
Unmute mic. He has himself muted.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear us now?
Much better. I get to hear you now.
Wow. Yes.
Nice and serious. All right. Cool.
Revolutionary.
So awesome. Thank you so much for the amazing insight in and your perspective on things. One thing that I wanted to ask you about is, in the light of all that's going on right now, the the thing that I find is being illuminated is that people are finally figuring out that they haven't been taking care of themselves on a day-to-day basis. And all of the things that you said that people could do now to prevent themselves from spreading things are things that I've been doing forever. As a healthcare professional, I touch nothing when I go outside. I'm always wiping stuff
We
down.
were that person on the subway that would
I'm-
rather be
I'm-
surfing and trying to balance.
I'm the person holding the things with a paper towel and throwing a paper towel out and washing my hands ridiculously all the time. Not ridiculously, I think thoroughly all the time.
I can't hear you.
Oh no.
So, here we go again. All right.
I'll
You
be
want
back.
to try from your computer? Okay. Na,
All right.
na, na,
How about that, y'all?
na. He actually unloaded some great facts. Let me know for anyone that's in the string if you saw them, right? Because he actually unloaded some really great things. So while we wait for him to pop back in, for you personally, what are some resources that maybe you have found that were really powerful for you? Or if you have questions, by all means, please join. Hello.
I'm back, and I turned my phone on to do not disturb. I think that's the problem.
Okay.
Okay.
You were too popular.
Were people calling your phone?
Yes.
Nice.
So now I'm getting a weird feedback. You don't have headphones also, do you?
I could get them. I'm going to walk to get my headphones right now.
I love this kind of party. This is like the micro of the macro condition.
Nice.
Honestly, it's all good. It's all good. I'm feeling comfortable. I feel home with you guys. Oh no. Yes.
Are you still there? Can you hear us
I'm
now?
here. I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome.
You just disappeared for a second.
Thank you so much for the grand amount of insight. And what I was asking before was, in light of all this, it seems to me that people are really starting to figure out that they haven't been taking care of themselves. They're starting to understand that if they don't eat in a way that's functional for them, if they don't exercise and drink water in a way that's functional for them, if they don't observe what they're doing, touching stuff and rubbing their faces all the time, this is how we get infections and we get sick and all this stuff all the time in the first place. I think this is really illuminating the fact that people have not really been paying attention to their health status, and they haven't been drilling this stuff in as a habit. Like all of the stuff that you just said was so familiar to me. It's like, man, I do that all the time, right? I do this all the time, and I take that all the time, and I wash my hands this way all the time, and I do all this stuff all the time. And this is what why Cole and I have been coming on here to do these lives with people and to illuminate this, is so that they can see each and every person that comes on here, including you, with all the credentials you have and all the expertise you have, to come in and reinforce that people really have got to create a habit around taking care of themselves every single day of their lives.
Correct.
What is your
greatest asset?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, would love to hear your vantage point on how people can really drill things in and create habits out of these things that we're doing now,
And to keep them out of the hospital with those habits.
So, it's a very good question. A lot of times when, at least for me, what I've noticed what's worked is when you have some form of some partner, someone who can actually hold you responsible. So, for example, if I want to work out every morning, I can say, hey, Cole, why don't we do this? Why don't we work out virtually together at 8 o'clock in the morning and get your routine started that way? And I tell all my patients, I tell all the people I coach that it's important that you realize that you should also set realistic goals for yourself. So if you're not exercising now, don't expect to be exercising every single morning, ad infinitum for the rest of your life. Why don't you do this? Why don't you put on your calendar 1 day a week? 1 day a week, 20 minutes to exercise. Do whatever you want to do. Walk, bike, row, swim. Obviously, it's hard to do that now, but do something to move. And then once you've done a month of that, once a week, then do it twice a week. Add that to your calendar. And it's an appointment. It's an appointment that you have to keep. You keep appointments to go to your hairdresser. You keep appointments to get your teeth cleaned, your doctor. Keep an appointment with exercise, because if you miss your appointment with exercise is actually going to be pissed off at you. So if you look at it that way, as an appointment, something you have to keep, something you have to do, it'll keep you also more responsible. And have reminders on your phone. Put reminders with alerts on your phone. Hey, time to exercise, or hey, time to meditate, or hey, time to ground or practice guitar, or whatever it may be. But if you have those little reminders and you have the partner who can help hold you responsible, these things are great tools that you can use to make you successful in your endeavors.
Yeah.
We have such a unique opportunity right now to create new habits. Because nothing looks the same as it did 2 weeks ago. And there might be some shadows of similarity, but as far as most people's day to day, it's been completely uprooted. And I think now more than ever, creating what is your weekly habits going to look like, and not hold yourself in this like perpetual pattern of pending right now. The human physiology doesn't do well in pending. It needs some routine, and that's really just our body functions through habits.
Yeah. And so another question for you, Dr. Splaver, you being the cardiologist and the heart specialist, why is it particularly important to care for the heart at this juncture in our history?
Well, obviously, the heart is probably at least I would say, is one of the most important organs in your body. It's responsible for keeping you alive. If it stops, you're gone. It is actually the number one killer of Americans nowadays, heart disease and heart failure. So if you can take a proactive approach and maybe bend the needle 1 or 2 degrees by making small changes now, then you can actually, maybe kick the can down the road, or stave off, problems in the future. Heart disease is something that I deal with every single day. I can deal with heart failure. I can deal with heart transplant. I can deal with bypass surgery. But what really gets me going is helping people become proactive, preventive, and predictive, and see what we can do to make those changes today.
So let's say, given that the numbers, societies, heart conditions, what are changes that someone could make today, to kind of turn back? Maybe
Mhm.
they're already en route to that, life because of their parents. It's already in their family. What's some immediate changes someone could make right now to start to step away from those potentials?
So we already mentioned exercise. That's one thing you could do. Another thing that one can do also, believe it or not, is diet, nutrition. And it's something that we don't necessarily all think about all the time. Many people just mechanically go and eat their meal and grab something on the go. But if we can be more mindful in terms of what we're putting in our bodies and what we're ingesting, then we can make pretty big differences. Things like cutting out processed foods. Anything that has extra sugar in it, or white flour, or white rice, those things are extremely inflammatory to the body and affect the immune system. Other things that I found that work with my patients and my clients is that if you add things to your diet as opposed to take them away. So what do I mean? It's easier for you to say, okay, every day I'm going to make sure I have a green salad at lunch and maybe a green smoothie at breakfast. Add in the healthier choices. And many times when we do that, we become fuller quicker. And so we're less apt to have the dessert or have that side of rice or fries or whatever it may be, because we've already filled it, we've filled our appetite by substituting with something that's healthier. Other things I tell my patients and my clients, I recommend to help with cardiovascular health and inflammatory health, is to include certain supplements into their diet. Obviously, anyone who wants to take supplements should probably consult their medical professional before they embarking on. But there are some that are very beneficial to heart health and also inflammation and immune health. Things like fish oil, things like vitamin D and vitamin C are excellent. The B complex vitamins are awesome. Things for immunity, we found that certain supplements like boswellia is an anti-inflammatory. That's an herb you can get probably in GNC or maybe in Whole Foods. Things like ashwagandha, rhodiola, theanine. Those are just vitamins, supplements, herbs that actually have been known to help with the adrenal system, which is also very much wrapped with the immune system and helps with immune function. So those are just some things. One very interesting thing, which I learned was actually how breathing actually can overall help your cardiac function. They found that breath work, certain types of breath work, like holotropic breath work or Wim Hof or pranayama, actually help your heart health by improving. I'm going to go technical on you now. Improving your HRV, your heart rate variability. So heart rate variability basically is the measure of how beats fall out one after another. Our hearts are not clocks. They don't exactly beat at the same time every single time. Maybe a couple hundred milliseconds off, or 50 milliseconds off. And they found that if people have a flat heart rate variability, in other words, if they don't have the variability, they don't have differences in lengths between their beats, that they are more likely to have cardiovascular disease. Why am I telling you this? And why is all this technical jargon? Because we know that heart rate variability is very much tied into your parasympathetic nervous system. I know it's a big word, but that's also responsible for overall health, and the health of your parasympathetics, the health of your autonomic nervous system is very much tied into your HRV, and you can affect it by breathing. Breathing can actually improve your heart rate variability, thereby decreasing your risk for cardiovascular disease and other bad things that we don't want to have. I know I got technical on you guys, but
hey, listen, we get technical all the time. We're always talking about the parasympathetic pathway. Oh no, not again. Not again.
I can't hear you.
Here we go again.
The lips, they're moving, but I can't.
Boo. I wonder why it does that.
I don't know why it's doing that.
I don't know why it's doing
that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Really, guys, I'll be here all week.
I know.
All right, so hopefully you'll come back on and we'll close this out.
So I hope this has been good information, because here's the thing, even when it's technical jargon, we want to ensure that you guys start to learn these things, because the more that you learn about your body's natural processes, the more you're going to be able to empower yourself with information. And he's back.
I'm back.
Can you hear us? Yeah, so thank you, man.
I can hear now.
Yeah.
Perfect.
For now.
For now.
Until it cuts out again. Technology's great until it's not. And then it's I mean, listen, we're across the country, so I'm grateful to be able to have you with Glitches. So it's always awesome to see your face. Thank you for so much insight and so much of your amazing knowledge and in fortitude, and taking the time to come and share this with our audience, man. We really, really appreciate you and all that you've learned and all that you thank you, and all that you've endured to get to where you are, and the things that you know, and all the people that you've helped, and for taking the time to help the people with more information. And let everybody know where they can find you online, bro.
So very easy to find me. I'm at the Doctor's Doctor, DoctorsDr, the Doctor's Doctor.com, and you can post comments or questions or whatever. And
if anyone has
and that podcast.
Oh, the podcast is called Warrior Health. We actually finished season 1. We're entering season 2, and we actually had amazing guests on, like Tom Cole on last season. So,
and for you, Adam, with because we've been talking about all of the medical elements, but you also have a tremendous amount of experience with how the heart is impacted just by life stressors and traumatic situations, and you've overcome and lived through a lot already. So let's say that someone is watching right now. What would you say if you were speaking to their heart in the emotional sense, if they're feeling a lot of overwhelm with everything, all the changes?
So, it's a very good question. One of the things I've used, and it's a great tool, is whenever I find myself spinning and going into that rabbit hole of, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, I'm anxious, I'm nervous, or I'm depressed. There's one great tool I learned to use, and I actually use regularly, is gratitude. Gratitude. Actually sitting down and saying, okay, what am I grateful for right now? And I'll list 3 things. Usually they're my kids, my health, and my connections, my friends. And I feel into it. And I try to expand on that feeling. And in doing so, it's very difficult to spin, to go into those rabbit holes, to go down the path of anxiety and depression. And if that doesn't work, also you can reach out to a friend. Thank God we're in the age of technology where FaceTime and messaging is always helpful. Being connected, feeling connected, is extremely important, and also not only bring your spirits, but also they found, it's very interesting that you brought this up. They did a study in Harvard. They found that who were the people that were living longest in the world? The people with the most connections, the people with more meaningful and deeper connections. We have this crazy, amazing, incredible tool in the palm of our hands. Now let's use it to help not only ourselves, but help others by connecting. sharing your love and just being there for one another. And I'm very thankful for my time with you guys, and I'm very thankful for the time that I've had working with your expertise. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, we love you. You know, very few people know the depths of what you've, been navigating and working through and uncoupling and reconstructing. And it's an honor to have you on our show with your expertise as well, because it's something that it's amazing, and it is time for people to start to learn more about their health and getting some of the technical jargon in there too. It's time for us to start to learn these things so that we can also be our own health advocates when we go to our doctors, to be able to get more clarity.
Yeah. And thank you for allowing people to empower themselves by asking you questions and having those questions answered, and not just being told, take these medications and have this procedure and that's it. So thank you for being the way you are with people. And one last question, if so our podcast is called Mentor in the Mirror. If you could tell the people to stand in front of the mirror and say one thing to themselves so that they may uplift themselves, what would that thing be to say to yourself every day?
You're a lot more powerful than you realize. At the end of the day, for me, that was probably the biggest takeaway I've ever gotten. Was that I have a lot more power within me, and not to give away my power. So that's my 2 cents. And thank you again for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for rocking with us, man. We love you. We love you. We love you. And as always, if you like this, and we know you did, rate, review, subscribe, and share it with a friend. My name is Ta.
My name is Cole. We are
Ta Cole.
This is Mentor in the Mirror, as Ta said. And Adam, I think you said you're doing a Q&A coming up in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So where is that located if people want to join you over there for some Q&A?
On Facebook, we're doing Facebook Live at The Doctor's Doctor.
Nice. Sweet.
The same name that we spoke about before. So thank you again. Right. Love you guys. Have an awesome evening.
Love you so much.
Stay healthy, and stay in love.
Always.
Peace.
Yeah, peace.